What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
I'm Quincy.
I'm DiceCream.
And this. It's the longest we've ever done that intro. This is a very special episode of Discussing Daggerheart.
Put that in post. Yeah. Explosions.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Give that to our editor. Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, gee.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
This is our Tuesday show where we usually sit down and discuss what we think of the new game Daggerheart from Darrington Press and the lovely folks over at Critical Role. But today we're doing something a little bit differently. 2 weeks ago, before the interview last week that I did with Jeremy Cobb, we put out a topic discussion about Session Zeros, following up from the Session Zero for Age of Umbra that we saw from the Critical Role team on their channel, the lessons we learned from that, what we're going to take into our plays in the future. And we're at this lovely Dungeons and Dragons cabin. It's
I don't know how much you can see on it. I don't know what the framing
Cue
is.
the B-roll.
Yeah.
There's a D&D basketball court, which is the funniest thing in the world. 'Cause-
sports and nerds.
Yeah.
If you're doing a home game
they
here,
exist.
you just like start to describe like an encounter and be like, and now we're going to go outside
And play horse.
For those of you that miss the ball, you lose 10 HP.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
actually, next
You know
year.
what?
I would
Next
die.
time.
I would die. Instantly TPK myself. I'm like, nope.
Like,
Horse,
I'm out.
none of it.
I'm out.
Somewhere, Ify Nwadwe is so jealous that he's not here right now.
We'll
We
bring
would
him out
never
next
get
time.
him inside, and we would never get him in a shirt. Love you, Ify. This is going to be a very special session where we're, instead of talking about Session Zeros and how we like to do Session Zeros, I thought we'd bring together two incredible creators and join... Well,
Yeah.
I'm like legally
Free.
obligated to
Yeah,
have
I
you
know.
here.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm present.
Presents.
To do a Session Zero and talk about the process, what we like about Session Zeros, what is the things that we think we get out of them. And this will all, of course, be in the world, not in the world, but in the game of Daggerheart.
Hell yeah.
So excited.
Ooh,
In a world I'm creating. In the process of. So this is a little tease of things that will be on the channel in the future, and I'm very excited for that, including an upcoming little Daggerheart mini thing that's coming this summer. But yeah, so I'm using my friends as a guinea pig, and to get content.
I'm
Isn't
getting
that?
Oh,
Mrs. Pig.
Yep. Is that our character's names?
We can give
Okay. But like...
We trying to survive on these streets. That's guinea and pig. I don't look anything like a pig.
That's
It just you don't
pretty
pick
great.
nicknames, otherwise we'd all be.
That's so funny.
You're a
I
ribbit
just got it.
that's named pig.
If no one's
really cute, actually.
if
How's
no one's
joke
done that
goes?
before,
Like, we'd all be
Yeah.
the. Oh, I forget. Damn it. Never
who's
mind.
guinea?
I had a
I'm
bit
pig.
and I lost it.
Okay, so Session Zero. Today, we are going to be talking about a game we're going to play tomorrow, a little one-shot. Oh, the follow-up to that. We are going to do the Session Zero here, and then we are going to film the one-shot. And so soon, you will get to see us all play the game that we're going to talk about creating right now
Hell yeah.
in the world of Last Yolk City. That's right. A great place to start a Session Zero is by introducing your players to the world that you are going to be playing in, telling them some of the themes of it. This is fantasy New York City.
I love it.
Yeah.
But in my world, New York City has all kinds of people. In fact, they have a race that created the city, the Avianox, a race of bird folk who no longer exist, have since gone extinct. The last yoke being a tribute to this cradle of civilization that was their last safe haven as their dwindling population in ancient times began to disappear. And now, as a long-waged war against a demon ruler that had risen up from hell, has destroyed the majority of the planet here, and has been recently defeated, Last Yoke has once again become a salvation place for the peoples of this world who have been cornered in this last salvation place. Last Yolk City is home to all of the surviving races of this planet. And while there are people beginning to set out into the wider world and see what can be reclaimed from the desolation of the wars before, the majority of people here are coming together to try and find ways to coexist, to bring their civilizations together in the one place they know they all can survive. This is a place where technology is beginning to return, where people are beginning to create engines and trains. There is a public transportation system here. There are a variety of different ways that people communicate here, mostly through arcanic crystals that they use to cast what is essentially a scry spell that has been diffused down to a physical contraption that people carry around with them and are able to visually video call one another through these crystals.
A rocky talkie.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Hey, yo,
Yeah.
give me that rocket
Rocky
talkie.
talkie.
Last Yolk City is a place where the blend of magic and science have created a bustling economy of ideas where all of the best and brightest of the world are here because everybody's here. And the danger that lives on the edge of this city, right there on the horizon, is an ever-present danger to everyone here. And even though there are tensions between the different races, between the different classes, between the different ideas here, there is this constant idea of we do have to band together or we are not going to survive. And that causes there to be a softening at the edges of rifts because this really is the last place where everyone can exist.
Does New Jersey still exist?
New Jersey does exist in this world.
Can we go there?
Controversial. Okay.
You actually can.
Can we have a side mission to go there?
Breaking into New Jersey.
Just across the river, where we would call Hoboken, is where in my world the ribbits and the fungrel live in
Oh,
the
fun.
swamps of the Meadowlands.
Okay. Okay.
And so if you would like to play a ribbit or a fungrel, that is probably where you are from.
Love it.
There are places around the city where you can, anyone can kind of come from any of the
Cool.
6 boroughs of
Cool.
Last Yolk City. But that is the main home of ribbits and fungrels is the
I've been
swamps.
living underneath the pier for centuries.
I've been growing out of this piece of wood that's been slowly dying.
If you want to enter the underdark of the pier, you have to answer me these riddles. Just the fungrel has grown off the side of like a massive wooden.
But the riddle is
Theme.
like, who makes the best pizza?
Yeah.
Not even.
Like-
They just say that, and you just walk past them because they're attached to a bee.
Yeah, they
Wait,
can't.
no, where are you going? Come back. Answer my question. I'm so lonely.
But it is the life cycle of the fungrels all eventually are stuck in place somewhere as they've grown into the wall. And they're
Right.
like, I'm old now, I can't move anymore. Somebody bring me sweet treats. I need you to get some bagel
I'm
and
traded
lox.
for knowledge.
I need lox. Speaking of bagels, the world of Last Yolk City that your characters all encounter begins every day at Sal's bagel store.
Sal's.
Crumbs, he likes to call it. And Sal is a very live and alopecia-ridden simia who only has managed to maintain a like ring of fur around his face and
Love it.
on the collar of his body and right at the end of his tail. He has a pouty sort of almost beak-shaped mouth, and he is often he describes himself as the last descendant of the Avianox people, and that Last Yolk truly is his city, and everyone else has
Sure.
moved in around him.
Clearly.
Right.
He's a bit of a character, but everyone knows Sal's makes the best bagels in all of Last Yolk. He has a secret that is behind these bagels that might become a part of our story tomorrow.
Okay. Cool. Love it.
The citizens of Last Yolk run the city through a number of different ways. One is by acknowledging and not interfering with several different mobs. There is an underground
The
of
lore.
crime
Love that.
that keeps
We
the
love
city running.
crime. We love it.
Welcome to the Dippy City where you gon' get dipped in the city.
I was like, I'm with you. Where is this going? It's like me when I tried to make that joke earlier and it got nothing. I couldn't even find the punchline. At least
It
you
happens.
ended your sentence.
Yeah, it happens. We've all been there.
There is a number of different gangs. One is a Simia organization, and they're called the Chimps and Z's.
Okay.
That.
And their biggest rival are the Inferis people, the Inferis gang that runs itself out of the Inferis pantry.
Are they a gang of plumbers?
Ferris.
No, but they do run the plumbing.
Okay.
Plumbing, construction, garbage. These are all things that, much like modern day New York City, are run by the mob. They got out of the drug business because it's more lucrative to build high rises.
I just have this image of like plumbers fighting giant apes and just have a Mario version. like
the live action Mario.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's fungus in that movie too.
It's a fungus.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh God.
Mario, the Brooklyn Marios.
Yeah. Oh my God. Is that my character?
We're guinea, we're pig. This is
You play an Italian isekai into this world.
No, it's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
Not to be confused with the Manhattan Mario.
Different, very different.
We are going to be playing a very fun little one-shot tomorrow. One of the things that is fun about this is, Kevin, I've played with you digitally. Clarus, I've played with you a lot.
Yes.
And Quincy, we met yesterday.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is really important about a one-shot and about an actual play, or not an actual play, but a game like this, is to take some time before we start getting into building your characters together. Because Daggerheart is a lot about character relationships, a lot about connections, and we're going to be talking about that in a second, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page about the kind of game that we are going to have, and also how we can make everybody comfortable at the table. So going into tomorrow, are there any particular I can't remember the word, which is embarrassing because that's the section. Lines and veils, or any other sort of safety tools. There it is.
Yeah.
That you're comfortable playing with, or that you would like for us to institute in this game to make sure that we're all having a good time tomorrow.
I don't know. I think like when it comes to like session zeros, like we're been friends for a while, been friends with Quincy for a long time too. It's like this creates a very safe environment because we already know each other and we've played with each other before, so I don't feel the need to like, unless I don't have a lot of like phobias and fears or anything, and you've already explained kind of what the story is, so I don't feel like I need to declare anything like that. If this was a brand new group,
if this was a group that like I didn't know you from Adam, I didn't know who you were, or you just recommended like, hey, we're gonna play with buddies and strangers, and you're like, okay, I would very confidently be like, I love the X card system.
Can you talk to the audience through what that is?
So very briefly, the X card system is how I like to play it, to surmise it, is that like every player will have essentially a card or a signal or something with an X on it. You can make a gesture or however you want to do it, but you basically talk with the players, you talk with your DM how you want to communicate this, but if something crosses a line in the story that you're not comfortable with, you can raise it, you can slide it over, you can be like, hey, this is a line that I'm not really comfortable talking about, whether it's like, trauma, or it's, danger against animals or things like that.
Phobia.
Anything like that. Like there's, it's a spider. It's like a giant lizard.
Yeah.
And even something simple as that can really make me as a new player in a group of strangers feel like I have a say to, God mode the story just a little bit, to be like, I don't like this. I'm not comfortable with this. And this gives you as a player agency to feel like you are a part of the story, you're part of the group. And so like that way you're not like run over and you're not sitting there for 3 hours and be like, I don't really like this, but I'm here, so
I guess I'm present.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean? So like I love the X card system, not thinking that we'll use it or have to like, in a situation of professionals, but also people who know each other well. But I love the X card system personally. Like just sliding it over and be like, hey, like, okay, got it. We'll move past this, change this, adjust this, and move forward.
Yeah.
Great. Well, let's say that for tomorrow, if we do an X, we're going to implement the X card, and that'll be the system we go with. I also like lines and veils, which is really about like what is completely obfuscated from the world. For Clarus, I try not to do spiders. I know how scared you are.
I was going to say, like, I think that's a very common one of like, hey, I'm at a table and maybe it's people who don't know me as well. I wouldn't say I'm like arachnophobic. I really don't like spiders. They make me uncomfortable. They can be present in a story, but I would feel more comfortable if they're not described in all the hairy details of it, right? You can say it's a spider and that's all that I need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need like a life-size miniature tarantula on the table because that would freak me out. I don't need to...
Or like a spider NPC kind of thing that you have to interact with constantly.
Exactly. If there is a spider present, a spider monster, spider person, that's fine as long as we don't go into too many details about it. Yeah.
Great. Well, with that in mind, there are no spider races in Daggerheart yet.
You know what? Fair.
Taliesin
see
did
it.
create one immediately for Umbra, but
Oh, right,
It's
right.
like a
right.
moth,
it's insane.
sort of. It's like a moth creature, sort. It's a
Insecty.
fairy.
Yes, because
Yeah.
they're
Technically, but it
Yeah.
has like moth features and also like multiple
that.
legs and insectoid like details. That's
Yeah.
really creepy. And Marisha is afraid of moths apparently. 'Cause
Yeah,
on the show
apparently.
they're like,
Right.
you picked the one thing that I am deathly afraid of.
yeah. Moths are a big one.
So then, given that we've already kind of talked about characters a little bit, and I obviously told you a little bit about the world before we started. So I am curious. I would like to start getting into who you guys are going to play for this little session tomorrow. Does anyone have a strong idea they want to start with?
I have like a semblance of a plan.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
blueprints.
Yes.
Well,
Little touchstones.
and DiceCream is going to be playing a class that has never been played before publicly, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know this. I'm also a big major Daggerheart fan. Me and Quincy have been playing it since the first playtest
Oh
came
my
out.
gosh.
We've done a couple of live streams with our Daggerheart group fastball special. We played a live show at San Diego Comic-Con with our Daggerheart group,
time.
which we have to do a part 3 at some point.
Hell
But
yeah.
I didn't know this till recently, but Daring to Press has this website for Daggerheart called The Void, and it's their playtesting space, and
Yeah.
it's super dope. They have 2 classes, subclasses on there right now for playtest. One is a warlock, and one is their version of what is a monk, essentially. It's
Yeah.
called the fighter.
It's called a fighter.
Not a monk, but it's a monk. But in the playstyle, it's all about using your fists and attacking multiple times, and it's great. So I really wanted the opportunity to try to play one of them. So I'm going to play the warlock.
Right.
As far as like ideas, being in the New York setting and hearing you just say that a demon had come up and like wreaked havoc, that I like the idea of my warlock patron is like an old family member, maybe like a grandpa, someone who like taught me how to use magic at the start. Maybe they were like a really well-known magic user. That's a part of like a leader in our community that we're in this sort of desolate land in part of the city. And
Would that ancestor have been from here, or like did you guys think that your family like came to the city?
No, I think they were from here.
Yeah, cool.
I just have the idea when there's like cities that are kind of like wastelandish, or like an evil entity has like corrupted a lot of it and you're just trying to kind of like survive. I like the idea of like these pockets of communities that are kind of trying to hold it together, kind of Last of Us style, and there's
Yeah.
usually like a prominent leader that's leading that community. So I had this idea that like he was one of those leaders, and then because he was teaching me how to control my magic and we had this special connection, that his spirit somehow like got enveloped into me.
Oh,
and he
okay.
like talks to me.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah,
okay.
okay.
Like kind of trying to guide me a little bit because I'm a little like reckless and rash, and especially since he's passed on. Like my parents aren't around, so he like kind of raised me. So kind of being that guiding light when I want to be a little bit like more of a rebel, and
Yeah.
it creates a fun conflict.
Great.
Role play. I want to call him Joe Biden. I don't know why.
Oh, all right.
I just once you said New York, I was like,
listen. Here's the thing you gotta understand.
that's the voice.
Here's the thing you gotta act.
What? What? Get to the point. Come on.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember.
Oh no.
Look,
This hurts.
there's 3 guys coming at me. I gotta know how to do this fireball. Please, would you tell me what the goddamn ingredient is?
Fight him until I can remember what I was trying to say.
Oh, for God's sake. That's the
Oh
bit.
my god.
That's the
great.
bit.
Yeah.
Great, I love that I now have to play Joe Biden in this game.
You're welcome.
Right when you said it was New York, I just kept hearing that Coney Island bit in my head. Like, what do you want to say to Joe Biden right now? Hey, yo! So that's the vibe I'm bringing. Biden.
That's great.
That's how I'm going to be talking this whole time.
The brain rot in this group is awful.
We are not chronically online.
Yeah. And then for the ancestry, I was thinking of playing a Qatari.
Nice, okay.
And I wanted to, because I haven't gotten the base book, they do a brilliant job of explaining how the ancestries, you can play them as is, like the images that they provide in the book, or
Yeah.
you can just flavor them however you want. So I wanted to play this smaller like winter fox
Okay.
kind of look that was like dark shades of gray with some highlights of white. And they wear this kind of oh god, what's it called? I'm losing my mind right now.
Like a
Big
Cloak?
huge piece of material that goes over your head, but your sleeves are out.
like
Poncho?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Words just escaped me.
Yeah.
Yes, a poncho, but it's like made out of like various materials that I've stitched together.
fun.
And have like a belt for components for spells, and like I carry like a backpack, and I have like a big walking stick that has just like little beads of jewelry and trinkets that I've just picked up from travels along the city.
Cool.
And this cool like headpiece that kind of almost like the stitching kind of mirrors like a fox face that I can sort of wear down if I'm in danger, so no one knows I'm there or sees my face, but can protect me from the rain.
Nice.
Kind of like an all-terrain kind of thing.
Nice.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I love that.
Very cool.
I might also play a Qatari because my only when you said New York, I was like, can I play a Pagoda cat?
She does mean bodega.
Bodega cat.
Before the comments.
That's what I said.
Badoga.
But yeah, that's what I said.
Can I play a
Pagoda.
pagoda cat?
I've been to New York twice. It's a good city. I love that city.
I didn't know what you
my favorite
said,
city.
but I was like, maybe this is something I don't know about New York about Badoga
What is
cats.
a
I thought you said pagoda.
Yeah, what is that? Is
isn't
that
like
a type of
like
house?
Yeah,
A
isn't that like
pagoda is a
like a
like
Chinese
pavilion
shrine
in
with
Japan.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's,
have cats probably.
they probably also
There's
can.
probably
You could
cats.
also
No,
be a pagoda
All
cat.
the time.
Bodega cat
Yes.
is what I thought. Yep.
love
So
that.
are you saying that in this world people still run bodegas and they just also still just happen to have a cat that's just there, or do you run
Yeah.
the bodega?
No, like I live in the bodega. I'm like security.
You're the bouncer for the
bouncer.
bodega.
Yeah.
You ain't getting this sandwich unless I say so.
Yeah.
yeah, there's
But it's-
tax on that.
I'm just kind of like curled up on top of different shelves, like watching everybody the whole time. Like it's like a security camera, but it's me.
Are you
know what I
also
mean?
small of stature?
I was thinking like size, like in when you play Monster Hunter, the little like.
Oh, one of
half
the
size.
felines. Yeah.
Yeah.
The palicos.
Yeah, because if I was like, if I was long boy, getting up on top of shelves would be more difficult. So I'm thinking like not like cat size, more like 3.5 feet
Like halfling size.
Yeah, there we go. That's
Okay, so far, Quincy, everyone is a small of stature. So I think we're gonna have to consider your character to either be small of stature as well,
I can
or
make mine medium size.
you have to be like 9 feet tall.
No.
There's
So-
one-
Sorry about it.
I can make mine medium size.
no, be small. That's very funny.
No, because my idea was to be like, I don't know what ancestry in Daggerheart that has this that could go with this, but I wanted to be like, so you went with the meme of the Joe Biden meme thing, and you went with the bodega cat. My favorite meme from like the New York kind of thing is the rat that kind of like carries the pizza, like the large thing, and I wanted to be like a little rat guy that just like digs through the trash, and his name is Roni. And he's just like, he likes a little rat guy. So I don't know if I could flavor a Qatari to be a little rat dude.
We could be. All
And he thinks he's the king of New
We're
York.
all Qataris.
But yours like a little fox one. I'm a little cat one. You're a little
I'm a
rat,
rat
one.
Is Qatari the best for a rat? I feel like it might be.
It has the most like qualities of that.
Yeah, the
mammalian.
whiskers
Or,
and
the
the
fast
ears.
and
or a
whiskers.
goblin. That would be my
what's
only
cute.
other pick.
I don't mind.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Goblins
that.
are quick and
Because they
fast,
kind
too.
of like in the art, their goblins are like more cutesy pinched
Sure.
faces. So,
But
you
also
could-
like the new flavor of like different mechanics. I'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be a
'Cause
goblin rat. named
They're
Roni.
very roguish.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
In their abilities for the goblins, so they're very
Yeah.
quick,
Right.
and nimble, and
Which kind of makes
I
sense.
do like
it's
that
fun.
you are Last Yolk City's smallest heroes.
Yeah.
We're the king
Yeah.
of
We're the little
last-
guys.
just a bunch of little guys that will fuck you up.
I'm the king of last Yolk.
Don't
Yeah,
mess with me,
there you
and
go.
Joe Biden will fuck you up, dude.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Oh
when we were doing COVID,
No, that doesn't exist in this world.
yeah, but in your head he's
Cannot.
still talking about COVID. You're like, Grandpa, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what the fuck COVID is. Are you talking about when the demon destroyed everything? Is that COVID?
Okay. Enough Joe Biden. we have a warlock Qatari, and then we have a Qatari and we have a goblin, but I don't know your classes. So, what kind of class is Pizza Rat, Quincy?
I think Roni would be more of like a ranger. That's the only thing I can think of, like a self-surviving in Last Joke, digging through the trash can, knows his way around the city. My first thought was like a rogue, obviously, but then I'm like, probably ranger, very self-sufficient in that type of...
Looking for things.
Yeah. So that would probably be a ranger. Yeah, I'd go for a ranger.
So one thing about my time in New York is that I knew several people who lived a lifestyle that would make other people think that they were unhoused, but they weren't.
Right.
One is Radio Man, very famously, has a very nice apartment because he makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so is Roni like... is he unhoused and living the Dolphin lifestyle, or is he actually fine and this is just how he chooses?
I think it would be more like this is how he chooses, and he feels like he's so connected to the city that he is its unofficial leader.
Yes.
Okay.
He has a god complex.
Okay.
He's like, that's my trash can. Everything in there belongs to me. Back off that bagel.
All right, fine.
Okay, I love that.
Okay, yeah. That feels more ranger than rogue to me for sure.
Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, rangers do have big egos and not a lot of great abilities.
You played a ranger one time, and now you're
And
like,
I hated it.
I
hated
it.
So
Not
like
even
a
I
like
liked playing a ranger in
Daggerheart.
your game. I found a lot of fun ways to use those mechanics.
In Daggerheart, you did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've never
Daggerheart.
played in I've never played Daggerheart. I've only ever DM'd it.
One day.
We'll
Yeah, I
fix
know.
that. We'll
We'll
fix
get there.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I played a ranger in Star D&D Valley, which is now on the channel. By the time this goes out, both episodes are out.
Yeah.
And if you watch me in that combat, I do like 4 damage a turn, and I don't have anything to do.
He's like,
and
I
it's like I shoot another
What
arrow.
level were you?
Yeah. What were
don't
we?
remember.
6?
6.
Maybe?
And you did 4 damage a turn for a ranger?
I didn't have a hunter's mark. My build didn't have hunter's mark for some reason. It was bad.
Well, also, like we didn't really do a lot of magic items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it didn't, it
Tales of the Valiant Rangers.
was
Berserk.
Yeah,
As long as
I was
it's
trying to see like what does the most basic a traditional class ranger feel like, and I was like, oh, this is
no. It's
terrible.
why you play. it's why you play fighter, arcane, archer instead.
What are you doing in terms of class here?
I think I'm gonna be a warrior.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Like
Classic.
she's got to be intimidating to be security. This is a city where there's a lot of people, and some of them are wonderful, and some of them you got to keep a close eye on. So I think warrior is appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah. She's very practiced in throwing people out if she has to.
Love it.
Yeah.
We need a tank anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So my follow-up question then is, we have these 3 characters: a warlock, a warrior, and a ranger. It's a very traditional class structure of a 3-party. The caster,
I don't know
the
how we're
tank,
going to
and
heal, but we'll find out.
You know what?
great.
Maybe you don't need to. It's
You eat a discarded bagel and you get some HP.
Yeah.
Find some old pizza in a dumpster that you've been protecting.
that's how you get
Get a
clear your
boon.
stress.
That's-
We'll hit up Levain's, wait in line for 25 minutes, and then have cookies.
God, I'm starving. I could go for some dumpster pizza right now.
You're just like, I need a cronut to survive. You're just bleeding out in line as you're slowly walking up the street.
Is this pre the whole charcoal and everything craze or post?
Oh, no, definitely plenty of charcoal right now. The Demon King burned a lot of the planet.
Right,
so
right,
there's
okay.
charcoal. Charcoal is a plentiful
Charcoal
ingredient.
ice cream, charcoal honey.
Yeah, amazing.
Do you 3 know each other? Do you think?
My first gut instinct was that your character threw my rat character out of the bodega. So that's that's how we would know each other's. But I tried it.
I feel like it could be fun if we've actually known each other for a very long time, and you come in all the time, and I have thrown you out a bunch, but sometimes we're cool and we'll hang out.
Yeah.
We have this kind of almost contentious relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of it would be the rat and cat kind of thing. It'd be like,
Yes.
all right, I'm letting you in here. Be like, appreciate
You're
it.
Yay.
regular
Thank
at a
you.
bar who's
We're Tom and
like
Jerry, where we're not friends, but
Yeah.
we are friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the relationship of when a bartender has a regular that's like very old.
Yeah.
And they're sweet most of the time, but they just get a little too drunk sometimes.
Yeah.
And they get a little
Yeah.
too handsy. You're like, Jim, you can't do that, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
It's
tolerate
been a
me.
week.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to leave, Jim. Maybe try tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've been that bartender, and it's the regular who's old enough that you know their address, because sometimes you have to call them a cab home.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Right,
That's
yeah.
so
It's like
funny.
there were like 3 people in New York City who I had their addresses memorized, because sometimes they drank too much and I knew I was gonna have to.
Yeah.
But they tipped well, so I let them come back.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, so what about you? Do you have a name for your character yet?
No, I have not.
Your patron
You're
is
the
Joe
only
Biden. You could be Hunter.
No. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Or you could be Brandon.
Oh, let's go, Brandon.
No, absolutely not. I want to be a hero in the story, not the villain.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Jeez.
Wow.
You brought Joe Biden into this. This is your
I
fault.
did. I know. This is why I'm a DM most of the time. This is what my player energy brings to keep us
Oh,
camping.
that's right. Y'all are Canadian.
What does that have anything to do with
I'm
it?
the only American here.
And we're telling a story about New York.
Yeah.
It's my.
But
it's-
you've lived in
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
my
you
home.
lived in New York.
It's a story of New York out of my love of the city.
Yeah,
Of course.
I mean, I have this idea of. I mean, I don't like. We won't know what the sort of objective of the one shot will be, or maybe that's also part of the session 0. Like, what's our goal in the story? Maybe like I could see.
No,
that
this case you're gonna find that we'll find out tomorrow.
Okay. Well,
Cool.
like I could see like we're talking about like pockets of communities that are kind of throughout the wasteland of Yolk. That like that part of the city that we're in, like you two could be a part of that settlement, like part of the community.
We're
And
in
I could
Hell's
have been
Kitchen.
someone who like. There's some people that I kind of imagine some people probably stay in the community because it's safe.
Yeah.
They never leave because it's
Yeah.
too dangerous. But I'm one of the few that like is tasked to like be a scout and go past sort of the village limits and see what's out there and then come back.
The city is very nice. Like
Yeah.
it's not desolate here. This
Oh.
is where everyone survived, right?
Okay.
This was where the last stand was outside of the walls of this place, and so this place is still quite nice.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who don't go to other communities, and a lot of people here keep to their own. But people do kind of live and work and move around the city in that way. But at the very edges of the city, particularly on the other side towards what the fantasy New Jersey that I'll come up with a name for eventually. In that direction, that would be more where people are scouting out to test to see, can the city start to expand again? Can we leave? Can we
Yeah,
find
yeah, yeah.
safe places out in what was destroyed?
Almost like a Wastelander.
Yeah.
A little bit, and then like kind of like I kind of picture like our community being like Hobbiton, and some of you are the hobbits that never left, and then I'm like Bilbo at the end of the movie, like
Right,
I've
yeah.
gone and done stuff, and I come back, and people might
Aw.
have certain views of it.
Yeah.
Of
You're
like
traumatized.
that's I've got Joe Biden living in my head. Super
Fair.
fun.
You
But, like-
you gotta take the ring to Mordor. You just you
Oh God.
gotta take the ring.
No.
The ring is a bagel.
The ring is a yes. Yes, it is. That is. Cast it into the
Grandpa, we
fire.
already did that last year.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Oh my God.
Where's Gandalf?
There's no Gandalf
Which
here,
one?
Grandpa.
Gray
I've
or
already
white?
told you that.
He's a young whippersnapper.
Yo,
That
just
Gandalf.
tell me where we have to go. We're supposed to go south to get supplies. You've been here before. This is my first time doing this. You never taught me how to go. Just give me a fucking direction.
You know, I don't
perfect.
remember well anymore.
For fuck's sake, I gotta do this on myself. And then it turns out like this whole time is like, yeah, like, and I imagine fantasy Joe Biden just saying like extremely wise things out of nowhere. Like you think he's being old and feeble, and he's like, God, I have to do everything myself. It's like, that's how you learn. You can't have people just teaching you how to do things all the time. And that way you don't ever know how to do things for yourself. So in this way, do you know how to get there now? Yeah, okay. Where are we going again?
I love it.
But yeah, so I see myself as kind of more like a scout for the community.
Great.
That has been ushered into maybe a that's being ushered into a leadership role that I'm like reluctant to take, and like the conflict of like going into that sort of thing after my grandpa was so revered by everybody, and some people think maybe I'm good for it, some people don't think I'm good for it, and the journey is just finding out if I'm able to live up to that.
We'll solve that in 2 hours tomorrow.
We can.
We can do anything.
Name?
Oh,
Riz.
Riz.
Riz
Riz,
Duck.
Roni,
Right.
and
I'm gonna be Katara the Katari.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we have Riz, Roni, and Katara.
No, I'll change.
now I
That's
want
not
an
the name I'm
R
going to go
name.
with.
Yeah.
I'm always horrible with names, and I always think of it like the minute before I start playing. I'm like, that's the name.
Name is always the last thing.
Yeah.
really,
That
sometimes
it-
that's how I
yeah.
base my whole character around.
Yeah, you're good with
Really?
I
names.
love that. Yeah,
I'm jealous because I feel like I'm always struggle. It's the kernel to start with me because I know friends who have like, I have like 17 characters in my brain that I'm working at all times, and I'm like, I need the inspiration.
Or I'm like,
Yeah.
Raistlin. Wait. Like,
Wait, I've seen that before.
that's a character in Dragonland.
yeah.
I'm going to be Rissand. Zayden.
Oh God.
So, do you know these two?
I think we like hung out. Like, I think there's a lot of people in the community that we just know, like
Yeah.
being neighbors and stuff. Like, I know of you two. But I spend most of my time scouting and like staying in the city for a bit, and then out in our community, and then going out and doing stuff and coming back. But I know like you're well known in the community.
Question: your like reports and stuff, are they like do you share that publicly?
Are you like a newsie?
Look at me.
I just mean
Got
like
my fingerless gloves. And,
like maybe like
dirty
we
cap hat.
know you from the information that you bring in, and we either think it's cool or think you're a fraud or like that.
yeah, I think that
Yeah.
like there would be like public meetings
Yeah.
to dictate like important news that was found or,
Yeah.
or information that everyone should know.
Cool.
And I think my grandpa used to lead those.
Right.
And there's like a couple of like scouts that are part of the reconnaissance team
Okay.
that like support him and the initiative of like a council maybe
Yeah.
for the community.
Okay.
And I'd be up there with him
Yeah.
like when he would give these speeches.
Interesting.
Okay.
So
and now
you're the grandson of Joe Biden, the former mayor of last Yolk City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll say he's the mayor because that's easy to understand.
Yeah.
And then he's passed away like very recently.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like we can say that like my initiation to become like maybe not the next leader of the town, but to take a more prominent leader position, or maybe like I don't know, something that you can take away with the study of magic that he knew that gets passed down to only a few people in these parts.
Sure. Yeah.
That we were going to essentially go away to start this ritual of like becoming an official sort of student of this school of magic. And then during that ritual he passed away, and then coming back he's gone, so it's like very like the loss is very fresh for the community.
Okay.
And that's where that conflict kind of come in, and like, oh, he's gonna be the new leader, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
I think.
Don't know
I
if
think
we trust him.
My idea for that is that because he was mayor, and because I do want this place to be a democracy where everyone kind of votes. I think we'll say that your grandfather and you, by extension, are members of a political party in Last Yoke that often is in control of the city because you are the political party that is really steeped in magical knowledge and improving the city and the future of the world through expanding the understanding of and use of magic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people right now who are for a long time people have been voting for magic because magic is how the demon was defeated. And now as your party is beginning to encourage people to think about leaving and expanding and re-colonizing the world, there is this political movement that's kind of pushing back against the party that's like, we're good here, why would we leave? Why do we need to continue to use magic? That was the past, and we should move forward under the weight of technology that is more earthly and less in the hands of a select few people who are capable of doing magical things, and more egalitarian. And so there is this weird crisis for the party as you've managed to create this political dominance for so long on the back of being the magic users that is also leading people who don't have magic to go, wait a minute, why are we always
yeah.
why are we always voting for you? The Demon
Yeah.
King's been dead for a while.
Yeah.
The city's good. why are you pushing us to leave? Why? You know what I mean? And I think whether that's actually altruistic on the part of your character and the party, I think is going to be something to explore.
That'd be cool. And then like a vote, like since he recently passed away, like a vote is coming to declare like a new leader.
Right.
And some people say like, you should do it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. And other people are like, yeah, you shouldn't do it because you're a fucking loser or whatever. And some people are like,
So
you're the
there's an
perfect
election
candidate.
coming up, kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
So we'll say
he's
that
gonna
there's
be
an
running for
acting mayor
mayor.
then, and that acting mayor, I'll come up with for tomorrow. That acting mayor is obviously a friend of your grandfather's, but someone who will not win it. Like, it was a great right-hand man to your grandfather, not nearly charismatic enough to win an election.
Yeah.
And it would be detrimental to the party if he was allowed to run. Like Joe Biden.
Yeah. If you didn't say it, I was gonna. Anyways.
Anyway, that I love that. So we have Roni here.
Yeah.
You think of yourself sort of as the mayor of New York, of
I
Last
kind
York.
of can see that, like, there's
Your
now
rivals.
like it's like I'm gonna be the mayor of New York now, Last Yolk.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna like actively be trying to campaign too, and so he's very thrifty. He's got a pocket full of pepperonis. He put little bobby pins on, and so he's like, "This is a campaign. Pepperoni, vote for Roni.
Just
Vote for Roni."
Snacks.
Just raw pepperoni
pepperoni
slices with like a safety pin in it to put. It's like, hey, here you go, kid.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Vote for Roni.
All right.
Hitting them in people's like suit jackets,
This is
like
a
they're
definite
fucking
way
poppies.
Yeah.
This is a definite way to get eaten by creatures outside the gates.
Like the smell will attract.
Somewhere Don Lemon's like, people aren't willing to wear their pepperonis anymore, and then he gets
God.
fired and he loses his job. It's crazy. Wow, this is way more political than I meant for it to be. Don Cherry, not Don Lemon. Don Lemon's fucking Don Cherry got fired for that. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway. I love that. I love that. So, and I'm assuming that you're not a magic user.
I don't think so. I think as a ranger would probably be just living life. So like I'm one with the people. I don't have the magic, but I have the brains and the skills, and I have a love for the city. So you have no idea what you're doing. You don't want it. Give it to somebody who does. Somebody who can handle the city.
So, Klaus, Katara lives in a world where there are these two ideas of the future and what's going to happen. Roni and not Riz live on opposite sides of that divide. Where do you think Katara sits in terms of the upcoming election and the political situation here in Last Yoke?
That's fun. I think that she's probably never left that burrow that she's in, and maybe like doesn't believe the news that you bring back. Like doesn't actually believe things about the outside world that about its dangers and such. And so, in terms of like what kind of adventure this is going to be, it doesn't really sound like venturing into the outside world is going to be a part of this one shot.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think for a longer form campaign, I think I would adjust the character to have more interests and more goals that were like outside of this like general vicinity.
Rekka.
Rekka?
Nice.
Rekka.
Nice, love it.
That's awesome.
I like it.
Rekka.
I think that she is just I think that she's just like a skeptic. Mm-hmm. She like doesn't believe the news from the outside. She doesn't think that you're gonna be a good mayor, but she sees no good options.
Yeah.
Like she's like, you're a bad option because of this. This is a bad way moving forward, and has a very difficult time coming to solutions, resolutions. Like
So she's a libertarian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No one's going to be mad at this.
No, not
We haven't pissed anybody off
not
yet.
a single person.
What do you think, Joe Biden?
Wrecker, I gotta use a hard R.
No, you can't. Oh my god, this is gonna get demonetized.
This is why people call me Home Rekka, because of this fucking shit. All right? This is why the nickname everyone on the streets is calling me Home Wrecker, because your old ass keeps saying weird shit. People can hear you sometimes, not just in my head.
Yeah, I don't think she like sees good options here, but she had respect for your grandfather, but then also like we are friends,
Right.
and so I think that there's like a mix of like positive and negative.
It's like a pick your poison kind of thing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
What if before when he last spoke and he took me out to the ritual to like pass on this magical knowledge, like I think you're ready. I didn't have magical powers before.
Oh, okay,
recently.
so recent.
Okay.
Like I was just like a scout like everybody else and just had good instincts and was just learning the lay of the land and the trails and everything. And
We're a ranger.
Maybe like an official ranger. And then this like grandpa was like, I think you're ready to learn the secrets of our magic, and in that process gets passed down by one person passing on to the other or something like that. For him maybe specifically, that's still loose, but
Right,
so
yeah,
that's
I love
how
that.
when people are like, what do you mean your grandpa passed away? You probably killed him. I just go, and I just shoot like a magical bolt. I'm like, I couldn't do that 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that maybe you're not supposed to hear him, but like you guys didn't finish the ritual to like, so he's still around because there's elements to the process that aren't finished yet for him to be able to, like, he is almost there almost as a ghost who needs to pass on, but he can't
Right.
pass on until you're magically
Fully ready.
finished.
Yeah.
And there's a tension there of him kind of being a little tired of being here. He's like, hey, I died. I need you to get this right.
Okay, Grandpa, it's a lot of pressure. Okay, I'm trying my fucking best.
Blast.
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast.
Okay,
Different game.
Right.
Oh, sorry, I can't remember my systems. Too many up there. We're playing Call of Cthulhu, right?
Yes.
Roll your D100. Okay, this is what I love about Session Zeros. I had this idea about these like local people in Last Yolk City doing this like job for a bagel monger, and now I deeply understand what I want the political scene of this world to be. And I was like, I'm not even going to think about that today, and now it's all I'm thinking about. And this is this is why collaborative storytelling is so fun, right? Is the element of this story that is, what does this bagel mission mean to the upcoming election? Fully came from just us riffing.
Yeah.
But that is...
Do it for the locks. Yeah,
But that's what this is now, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when you sit down for Session Zero to build these things, and I don't think we're going to go through all of our cards and all of our experiences and
No,
everything.
that's
I'll
okay.
let you guys build those on your own for tomorrow. But I have such a better idea now as the DM of the story I want to tell tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I love the freedom of being able to do that in a Session Zero and have so much of your ideas come in and be a part of this world. Joe Biden is obviously going to be a big part of the recent death of Joe Biden.
Oh my God.
Which we have to, I just want to acknowledge, we have to be really careful about when this goes out. Because
if anything happens,
if Joe Biden dies in the near future,
He will be immortalized as a
In
warlock
our case,
patron.
this Session Zero might get held for like a year out of respect.
in case something happens. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Or we'll post it in the next day.
Or we can call
God.
Joe Biden someone else. We don't have to call him Joe Biden.
No,
That's
I
just
think
me
we
being a
have to call him
weirdo.
Joe Biden.
At this point, we're in too deep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, but you guys really helped me build this out. This is gonna be so fun. I can't wait to play with you tomorrow.
Do I have to do a New York accent?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't. No.
Doesn't have to be done well.
Doesn't have to be good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do a very
Crack
good
the
New
car,
York
have a
accent.
yard.
People in New
That's
York
not a
be
New
like,
York accent.
I'm walking.
Everyone
doing
watching
it
this
anyway.
from New York are gonna be like, you
Packed car,
are
Harvard
so
yard.
offensive.
You know
Stop doing
Harvard
that.
in the center of New York City.
Absolutely.
Fame, the New York Celtics,
Yeah. God damn it.
the harbor of. This is what I like to do in Session Zeros. I like personally. I don't need you to sit here and tell me what all the spells you're going to do. I love that they did that in the Critical Role one to kind of talk about the powers. But we're gonna probably wrap things up here. Thank you so much for getting ready for this.
Yeah.
with me.
Excited for
I
this game
love
now.
this.
Yeah.
Session Zeros are so good because it's like a teaser for the players and the DM.
Yeah.
To like get a vibe and also feel like you are contributing, because like I started with just thinking like, oh, I'm a hee hee ha ha little rap pizza dude, and suddenly I'm now trying to run for mayor. So
How'd that happen?
But it's fun. It's cool. And I wouldn't have known that unless we didn't had a session 0.
Yeah. I also brought this up in our kind of talk about session zeros. But one thing that I love, one of the reasons I love doing them, with stuff that will be actual play, or if it's not going to be actual play, highly recommend even for your home game doing a session 0, because I find that people then get very excited and that snowball really gets going, and then players will commit to showing up weekly or bi-weekly because they
more excited,
have
more
that
invested.
hype. Yes.
Yeah, you contributed, you're invested, you're locked in, and you want to see what happens next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The story is going somewhere.
Yeah.
I have a vision. I see the vision for the world. I see the vision for the character, for the story, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that can be hard if you raw dog session 1 to explain the bigger picture as a DM, because then you have to be here are all the adventure hooks for multiple sessions, and I think it's nice to be able to, and obviously this is a one shot, so I wasn't telling you guys here's some of the larger themes I want to play with, obviously this is going to be a dumb jokey love letter to New York one shot, but in a campaign session 0, I think there's a lot of room to be we're going to start in a small town. Shut up. We're going to start in a small town, but we are going to... These are kind of the larger places that I want to go to in the future of this. And especially, one of the things I think is so underrated as a player in a Session 0 is getting to hear little teases of what other players have sort of come up with for their characters and getting to get excited about what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah, and Daggerheart has a really cool Session 0 tactic of getting the characters to ask the players ask each other questions.
Yeah.
And that also is a great way of developing a deeper connection with the characters in relation to the world, the setting, and where you all are at when you start your first session.
But also player to player, it breaks the ice of okay, we do have a connection now.
Yes.
Now I know what to talk to you about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know what to talk to you about. And so there is immediate relation and connection.
Yeah.
Without being you meet in a tavern, you have no idea who these people are.
Yeah.
I did that for one of our home games we're doing right now. I used the Daggerheart Session 0 system, we'll call it, to get that group together before our first session for a D&D game. And before we even had our first session, it felt like we'd been playing for 10 sessions.
Yeah.
Because it does such a good way of making those connections feel deep and lived in.
Yeah.
And all that work's done. Sometimes campaigns take a while to get to feel like you're in it, or it's being lived in for a while.
Yeah.
You find that groove when you do stuff like this. It just helps it get there so much quicker. And you understand each other's characters and the settings and the world right off the jump.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. This has been another episode of discussing Daggerheart. Let's go around really quickly. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
You guys do a little bit more describing of where people can find you and what you do.
Yeah, people know us. So.
Quincy's Tavern, pretty much everywhere. I do fantasy cooking and affirmations and poetry.
DiceCreamSandwich on all socials. I make TTRPG content and lots of cool stuff.
When we're recording this, I don't know when the session is going to come out, so we will probably tell that you in descriptions and stuff. Join the Discord and be a part of the discussions on the Nerdy Nightly Discord. There's a roleplay relay area in there. Also, we're going to try and get this up next week, so I will say this. We are nominated for Best Charity Event at the Crit Awards for Heroes Without Borders 2024.
Yes.
We are really trying to win that award so that we can use it to promote Heroes Without Borders 2 2025 because we want to raise more money for charity. So if you could go vote for us, that might help us make more money this year for Doctors Without Borders, a cause that absolutely needs it, and not at all to stroke my ego. Trust me, that gets stroked plenty.
Hey, yo!
Yeah. Some of y'all are thirsty, and I appreciate it. If you want to follow us, we already did that. The algorithm goddess of this episode is my wife, because she's my life. Thank you, babe. As always, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye, guys.
Bye.